Oh, hi. Hello there. Hey, welcome back to another episode. Didn't see you there behind all those mobs. Oh, if you didn't catch the last episode, you need to go and watch it so you know exactly what this thing is right here. Actually, can we see it happening? Oh no, of course, that's packed ice, so we can't see the mobs. Well, you can see some shuffling going on up there. There is a raid forming. Every single wave of the raid is happening above me right now. And we've won. We've successfully won. And I've won so many raids in a row that I actually have Hero of the Village level 5 right there. So go and check out the last episode if you want to see how all of this was put together. Now let's see the treasures that have been bestowed upon us. This is about just over an hour's worth of farming. It's absolutely ridiculous how much you get from this thing. And if we go all the way over to the end here, I had to jump over and fish out all of the junk items every now and then. I've been throwing away the crossbows with enchantments, and you know what it is. It's just a stupid amount of totems of undying in here, and I need to empty it all out again. This farm is beyond OP. It really, really is. Anyway, last episode I asked you to go check out Double Moses, who made this farm, so go back and check him out if you didn't get round to doing that. This episode, I want to ask you to check out a video that I'm actually going to put on the screen right now. It was made by a fan of Hermitcraft known as the Pooker. He's made videos like this and before, but this one really, really warmed me. It touched me. It was amazing to see what an incredible video someone could make inspired by the Hermitcraft world and the Evil X character, who we haven't seen here on the channel in quite a few episodes. I implore you after watching this episode to go and check out the video. It'll be linked in the description box below. So I'll remind you again at the end of this episode, but as of right now we've got work to do, and you know it, we're going to be setting up a shop to sell these totems of undying. Let's try and get off the ground here. Excellent. The place we're going to build is not so far away from here. As you know, we've got the shopping area right next to Sahara. If we continue in this direction, we've got the expansion, and things are starting to shape up over here. And immediately you can see to the right what it is that I have been up to over here. Building a pixel art totem of undying. Yeah, this is going to be the entrance to our shop. So I had rattled a few ideas around in my mind, but I couldn't really settle on any kind of structure that sort of draw your eyes to a place quite like this little graphic right here. And I've been messing around with different textures and whatnot, and really it works best with flat colours. That doesn't do it for me. You can see I tried the gold brick, different shades of colour here. In fact, I kind of built it off of this one, so if you look at it from this side, it's kind of the wrong way around. This is me getting up close with the texture itself and trying to capture all of the little quirks and differences by using different blocks, right? But it really didn't work. I think having it nice and flat is the way to go. So I picked this spot so the shop could kind of nestle in between the walls. I don't really have too much of an idea for what the shape of this shop should be behind the totem. So essentially what we're doing is we're just going to have a box made out of stone bricks, but we'll make it look far more interesting once that's done. We're going to need a box because we're going to have a room where we sell the totems of undying in. It's going to need some redstone behind it and some redstone down here at the entrance as well. I want to build the classic piston door. This is like one of the most old school basic designs that you can make. And if I'm not mistaken, it was actually the developer Jeb himself who came up with this door design, which is why it's known as a Jeb door. And it's going to be very useful. We're going to put the yellow concrete blocks right here. Then we've got to put some blocks up top. And if you've never seen this design before and you'd like to build it yourself, then it's above these pistons when you got them in this position that you want to place repeaters on the second setting. So now I've sprinkled in some dust as well on top of the other blocks, and this is just magic right here. Yeah, except we can't see the other side. So there you go, it's nice and flush, super easy. I want to know though, there'll probably be a poll on the screen before, have you seen that design before or not? I'm very curious because there was a point in time when that was one of the most basic redstone contraptions, but of course there's always new people coming to the game. So we want this redstone door to be activated from both sides, and that means that we're putting some redstone underneath it and then sending a signal up and over to the top. We've got pressure plates on either side with these temporary gold blocks, and you can't really see the gold texture that much because the pressure plate covers it. But anyway, first of all, there are two sets of repeaters, and this is so that even the tiniest of accidental pulses on the pressure plate will fully power this comparator decay clock. So slowly the signal gets weaker and weaker, and there is a chain of redstone torches here going up to the top. So then after a certain amount of time, these are going to change, and you can see that the redstone wire simply makes its way up to the top here. So that's the system that we're going to use. I think, have I put these at the wrong height? No. There would be blocks. Yeah, I have put them at the wrong height. Oh yeah, it's because that's one lower on this side. I may change that. Yeah, I have done. I've also changed the whole redstone circuit underneath so that it opens the door a little quicker. And as you can see, ugly box of stone bricks right here. The idea is to get the inside done first and then kind of focus on how we can make it blend into its environment a little bit more after. Now I just need some space to have a room and then put our shop in, and this is where we're going to do even more redstone, as somewhere over here is going to be the wall that's the back of the shop, and there's going to be a dispenser and some redstone, as we're going to sell the Totems of Undying with a little bit of a concept attached to it. Or twist. I think twist is the better word, and it's going to involve some redstone engineering that we will do very soon. But first of all, I kind of got carried away again. I set myself a little area in which to design the room on the inside, but then the design kind of took up more space, and we're eating back into Force's area over here, which I didn't want to particularly do. But then it made me think, well, we'll just take a different approach to this later on when we try and cover all this stuff up. I think I'm going to make a series of shapes and boxes and then cover them in leaves or something like that. But as you can see, I'm wandering around here, and you're probably getting a little bit of an idea of what it looks like on the inside, but we've created an absolute mess on the outs. So let's wander in, and you can see I've just gotten a little bit carried away with a colour palette here, going through a sort of fade from orange all the way up. And as I got higher, I started to run out of colours. So here there's actually string to hold up the gravity blocks, and then we go quite pale all the way to white at the top. But I find your eyes tend to rest just in the middle of the room, so you don't actually really see the sandstone and stuff, which is kind of cool. Now luckily for me, there is just enough space, I think, back here for me to squeeze in the redstone for the shop itself, as right up here is actually the other side of the wall. Now before we get into any of that, we're in the 1.14 area. Going to take a break from all the redstoning and play a new minigame on the server that Grian's put together. Now if you've been following the build battle, it's been a while since I commented on it. It's now officially over, so I figured that I would fly over here and just give you a glimpse of the absolute craziness that has been going down on the Hermitcraft server in this area. This involved Iskall, Grian and Scar, and even Rendog got involved as well. If you want to watch the episodes, you can always go to hermitcraft.com, look up the Hermit's channels, all that stuff. But yeah, they had an absolute blast doing all of this crazy building this, and it's truly, look, someone else is just over here flying around admiring the view as well. Anyway, the place that we're heading to, oh, I didn't know this was like turning into a theme park as well. Well, I guess I did, but I didn't know there'd be a sign like this. Hermitland. I love it. So we got mini games over here, and it seems like a lot of the hermits are in the mood just to make some mini games, and now this spontaneous area is coming together, and there's people flying around. I think everyone's flying over here to play this game. So it's called DSD, Dig Straight Down, and the idea is that you've got to break the golden rule of Hermitcraft, not of Minecraft, not to dig straight down. Put all your stuff in the locker. All items are at risk. Take a pick and 2 stacks of dirt. Pay 5 diamonds and choose an andesite block. Dig straight down. There is 100% chance of lava. Bail using dirt when your nerves get to you. Between andesite and lava, there are between 0 to 9 diamond ores. So the concept is really straightforward. You're just going to do the simple task of going all the way down, and then at some point you'll turn around and come back up if you don't die to lava. So it's a game of chance in a way, and here's how I want to play it. There's 0 to 9, and we want to get at least 1 diamond from playing this, right? 5 would be optimal. I'm actually going to just let the dropper decide. So we're going to act like these were renamed, right? This is 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 9, and I'm going to let the randomness decide. Cuppan's probably wondering what I'm up to. Everyone's coming over here to play this. And now he's eating cake. I'm going to let the random factor decide how many we're going to go for. Okay, so out comes the slime block. We're going for 5. So we're going to try and break even is the idea here. So let's make our payment. You know, I was about to say we're officially going to break even, but then I saw all of these have fortune 3 on. And let's just take this one because it's been used a little bit, and it's probably going to end up in lava. So I have to mine 5 diamond ore. Hopefully below here there is one with 5 diamond ore. Now which one am I going to pick? So it's quite a few hours later now. Cubfan still seems to be here as well. I don't know why, but I've been devising an algorithm and I've been giving it lots of information about how Grian thinks. And it is determined after lots of calculating that we should go with this one right here. This is the one of choice. Okay, it's time to dig straight down. Unexpected. I got a coal block. Fair enough, let's keep going. And another one. And another one. And another one. When are these coals going to turn into diamonds? Ladies and gentlemen, I have dug straight down and I have found diamonds. Hopefully the first of many, or just 5. 5 will be good. And from that we get 3 diamonds. But we're going to keep going, and there could be lava, and it's actually quite tense. I believe I am sweating a little bit. Second lot of diamonds. Here we go. 6 diamonds. These could be lost to lava. I can't believe it. Here we go, number 3. Alright, 2 more diamonds and we're good. 1. Oh, 2! Yes, that's it. I'm not going any lower. I'm not going any lower. I'm going to do something cheaty after this, though. I'm going to do something very cheaty after this. But do you know what I just want to say? The algorithm was right, peeps. The algorithms are taking over. They're taking over. They're too smart for us. So it doesn't work quite like I thought it would. I can't actually see what blocks are down here, can I? Because it's surrounded by other blocks. And I don't know what Y level I was at, but it looks like we could have gone really far down before we hit lava. Oh look, there's actually diamonds right above that. So we know that. I wish I'd have pressed F3 and then I could have had an idea of how close to the lava we have. Anyway, this is kind of super duper cheaty, right? I'm not going to play this game again now. 13 diamonds, a tidy profit of 8 if you do the math. But that algorithm, by the way, it turns out it was even smarter than I realised. Grian has informed me that we chose the one with 9 in total. Although we also know the very last one would have killed us. Oh, what a great game, what a great concept. I think the fortune was the real touch there. That made it really interesting, knowing that you could get quite a few diamonds from it, which we did. And we could have got more. And we got some coal blocks. Coal blocks, yay, no one cares about that. Let's get back to business. We've got a Totem of Undying shop here to finish, and earlier I talked about how I would use some boxy shapes on the outside to hide what's going on the inside, and now what we're going to do is borrow from the build palette of the wall and integrate it into the wall as well. I've used up far too much space with this. In fact, the very top of it came up kind of high, and then I was trying to cover it up and I realized we could just have like a little staircase that joins the wall here. So this is actually going to lead downwards down the side and link, you know, the wall into the shopping area, which I think is really cool. So over here, what I did is just kind of take some of the cobble and the stone brick stairs and the fence posts and yeah, just bring it all together. So I've smelted up some cracked stone bricks here. I need to get some mossy ones and leaves together, and essentially we'll come back to this later on and do a pass and just give the whole thing a bunch more detail by swapping in those blocks. But just to give you a quick feel for what it's like around here, you can see I've built it all up, and then on the insides here there's like a couple of step downs on either side, and that covers up everything down below and integrates it nicely into the wall. So now we can get to the redstone, and when I was laying out this room I was thinking how the dropper is kind of like a one wide thing, right? And our room here is an even width, so we want our interface for this shop to be 2 wide. And originally I had the button above this dropper, but we could also put it to the side as well. And we'll use an emerald block to grab people's attention, and then we can put signs either side of this. Actually, I'm going to have to push it back a little bit, and you may find that we jiggle around with the position of this a fair bit. So let's go ahead and actually just build it first of all before I start moving it around. I'm hoping we've got enough space down here. I think I'm going to have to change the terrain on top of it. Okay, the first person view is officially awful sometimes. This is probably a better way to look at the contraption that we've got going on over here. And as you'll see, we've got a note block next to the emerald block. We're actually going to put a block on top of that so it doesn't make sound, but it'll pass a signal through the observer over here to this piston where we're going to have a block of sand on top of it. So the pieces of redstone either side of this sand will both power the piston. Now the redstone on this side will also power the sand and send a signal into the repeater in front of it. That's set to 2 ticks. And then there will be a block here, which means it powers that redstone over on the side and sends the signal backwards. So I'm going to go around to the front and press the button, and you can see then what happens. The important thing to pay attention to is the thing that we can't see. Okay, the repeater with the sand directly behind it is the one we want to pay attention to. Notice how it only fires once, and that's what that extra bit of redstone is taking care of for us. So when we use an observer with a button, we actually get a signal when it turns on and then when it turns off. So we get 2 pulses. Anyway, let's get rid of the redstone back here. This is actually a design hang-up. Sometimes when you're designing something to fit in a space, you try different things and you end up leaving something in that then doesn't need to be there later when you use something like this piston of the sand, which is what I've done. If we actually just put redstone wire there, this will work the same because when we power the button, this is only going to create 1 signal. So here we go, I'm going to press the button and yeah, 1 signal. So the observer was overcomplicating things. So we have created a 1-tick pulse, or 2-tick pulse actually, and we're going to use that to unlock these hoppers, and we're going to lock them with the redstone torch here. So that short pulse we create when we press the button is to unlock this. Now because it will remain locked most of the time, it means that we can move 1 item through to the dropper at the front, 1 block at a time. So how about that twist or concept that I talked about earlier? Now's probably a good time to let you know what's going on here. Every totem that I sell, I want it to be cheaper than the last one until it's free. You see, I'm going to give these things away for free, but I do want to make some diamonds for my troubles. So let's go ahead and put in a different type of block into the dropper. Then we're going to put a different type of block into here, and then into there, and then we can put a chest on top over here as well. The chest's contents will actually drain out in the order that I put them in, so let's just put again a variety of blocks in to demonstrate this. So now when I go around to the front and press the button, we are going to get the first item out of the dropper, and we're going to rename it so it tells us the price. This would of course be a totem of undying. Now the next item here is the next one from the hopper behind it. We press that, same thing happens again, we get the cobblestone. And now you're seeing that we're getting the contents of the chest in the order that we put them in. So basically each time we unlock the hopper, the chest is going to drain from the first slot like that. So every time we press the button, 1 item is going to disappear like this, and this means we can actually order the totems of undying that appear in the dropper at the front. So I've gotten 3 signs here to explain how to use the shop. Press the button to buy. Each totem brought lowers the price until they are free. Look at the totem to see the price, put diamonds in the chest below. So we're starting at 12 diamonds. I think other players are aware that I've got a lot of these, so they're probably not going to pay a lot for them. And so the price lowers 1 diamond at a time, and then we'll make just over a stack from that. And then the rest are going to be completely free after that point. So now I'm left with decorating duties. This interior is a little bit bland and we got to spice it up. So the room now has an ominous feel. The banners obviously help with that. But these floating totems, that was the way to go. It got into my head that we could use the armor stand book to have them floating, and then I've attached them to the light sources which cover the entirety of the room so nothing will spawn in here. And I thought I'd add 1 more floating over here, however there's a catch. The armor stand is in the way of the buttons, so I'm going to have to get rid of this one. If you're wondering how this works, we remove the base plate, we show the arms, and obviously we would turn off invisibility and gravity. We want to use this one right here, and that positions the item so it's being held perfectly flat. And then you can just simply maneuver this thing around with the nudges, and I did that a whole bunch of times until I got them on top of the lanterns. So now it's all about the outside here. I'm going to go over the build, make it look a little bit more interesting, throw down leaves and things like that. And just like that, the whole thing feels so much more interesting to look at with these leaves and vines, the occasional mossy stone brick. Over here we've got sea lanterns behind just to illuminate some light, so there's a little bit more around the sides of the build. And now I've even extended some of this over a ways from the building as well, and that even helps with the view. So it's all going in the right direction. I need to gather some resources, and then we need to work on the bottom area here, which I think is going to have some stone bricks down at this level, and then we're going to use path blocks leading up to our pressure plates. We're not going to keep the gold, that's for sure. And I might put a couple of trees out the front here. Now, I was going to go with spruce, but I think I might switch to jungle, mainly because when you make the old 4-tall spruce tree, it creates pods all around the bottom. That's going to be a huge pain in the bum to deal with. Oh yeah, and what's nice about dark oak saplings is that they won't grow into a full tree if it's just a single one like that. So a few of these jotted down and around always seem to mix in really well. So I believe that no trees will be required because this is looking really quite gorgeous. The arrangement of blocks, these lanterns here, maybe there's like one too many of those. Going to feel like they're starting to form a grid, which maybe is a good thing, especially if the grid is uneven because it's kind of chaotic around here, right? And now I've moved my shulker boxes back so I could develop this side over here. We've got a path leading in that direction and a path going off in there. And I'm yet to fly around and see it from above, but I really love the feel of it from down here. The overgrown effect is just perfect, and I feel like this really lets us get away with doing a pixel art build here, as everything around it is kind of gorgeous. Now there is two things that I want to do. One is fly up and see it from up here, and the other thing is maybe play around with putting some particle effects in using the campfire. That was one of the first ideas I had for this build, and I've gone and built the whole thing without doing it. So just looking at the feel of this right here, it'd be too obvious to mix it in down this area, which has already got a lot going on. So we'll sneak them up the back here somewhere. Okay, this could be a problem. Nope, it doesn't break the redstone signal. So we're going to use these spaces in front of the logs to have smoke signals coming out of. And you can only see the ones on the side, and you can barely see both of them at once. Okay, that did not work. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to put them in the hands of the totem. So one on either side, and that looks absolutely fine. Awesome! We have now opened another shop here on Hermitcraft, and in the next episode, we're probably going to wrap up the XP farm that we started a few back. So that one will be opening as well. Hopefully we'll be able to make ourselves some more diamonds here on the server. But that's it from me. If you've enjoyed this episode, then leave a like and be sure to check out the Evil X video that I showed you at the beginning of this one. So thank you for watching. Go check that out now, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.